Good evening, America. Let's have a little musical interlude because we have such a wonderful romance going on in Washington right now. Oops, that did not come up properly. But what I would want to point out is that what we do have going on is a whole lot of illegal bullshit. Stuff that never should have happened, stuff that we didn't vote for, stuff that, quite honestly, when you look at them, neither did MAGA. It's not. Unfortunately, I didn't have my amplifier plugged in the way it should be, and it is now. But we got a lot of shit we didn't vote for. What we do have going on is a whole lot of Muskrat love.
Muskrat, candlelight, doing the town and doing it right.
I hate this song, but it seems appropriate.
Muskrat Susie, Muskrat Sam,
Which one's Susie? Which one's Sam? I'm not sure. However, this cover is, the guy's doing a good job on it. Anki or Anki. Anyway.
Floating like the heavens above. Looks like Muskrat love.
All right, that's enough of that silliness. I do want to talk to you about some things, though. I want to talk to you about, well, before we get into the whole Muskrat love thing, because we got plenty of that to talk about, we've got even more dangerous shit happening. Our Senate just confirmed probably the least qualified person in the world to head up the Department of Health and Human Services. An avowed anti-vaxxer, an avowed womanizer, a guy that's had brainworms and admits it, has been appointed as our Secretary of Health and Human Services. You need to look up just how much that covers. It's pretty amazing. He's not a doctor. He has no medical training whatsoever. He doesn't have a medical degree. And as I said, he's an anti-vaxxer. And when you talk to any of the people, the real people that actually understand something about American health, that understand something about what our health system should be, they're all the first ones to tell you the guy's a nut job. As I said, he admits that he had brainworms, and he's now in charge of America's health because he made a deal with Trump in exchange for a cabinet position. Well, good for us. Let's just put the most unqualified person in there because, he dropped out of the race and endorsed you. There are parts of this that I look at and say, how's that not impeachable? But that's a big worry, but that's not the biggest of our worries. What did we just have come on here? I can't really tell, but I do like to say hello to people. Jason Crew, hello there. How are you, brother? But, he just to give up the race, they gave him Secretary of Health and Human Services. Think about that. Look at how much that covers. I can't figure it out. One thing that I can figure out is that when you start trading that much power just to get elected, you should be impeached. And let's look at what this guy did. 700, Carrie Lindley, hello there, brother. 774,000 people voted for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. for president. After he had endorsed Trump, went to court to try to get his name off of ballots, still 774,000, more than 750,000 people voted for this fucking brain dead asshole. Actually, I don't look at them as being all that stupid. It's like, look, I'd rather have the fucking brainworm guy than have that goddamn Trump in there again. I almost agree with him. Almost. Not completely. But 774,000. We're looking at 750,000 people plus voted for him after he told them not to. The other thing it tells you is just how fucking bad a candidate the guy was. Oh well, that's what we got. Let's see, we got Tulsi Gabbard, definitely a traitor. We got Pete Hegseth, completely unqualified. Yay us. Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, causing us all kinds of trouble all over the fucking world. But hey, let's just keep putting them in there because the Fuhrer wants them. That's just one of the things today, though, that seems, it seems insurmountable. It's not. Because there is a little bit of good news, too. One of the things that he's over is the Center for Disease Control. One of the things that they do the most of is to make sure that we know something about what's going on in the world as far as real dangers to us through viruses and things like that. I'd like you all to think about the COVID pandemic, how many people died, and actually how well we did here in this country overall, because about the time it really started, that's when we got that fucking asshole out and a real president in who really did lock things down and make things work properly, who made sure that the vaccines that were pushed through were safe and got out to people. We didn't get hit as bad as a lot of other places did. A big part of that is the CDC. Well, now they have been shut down from any kind of reporting. Any kind of reporting. It's right across the board. He's ordered them to stop reporting virus spread and mutation. And it's not just they, but everything under the Health and Human Services have been ordered to stop reporting. And Brainworm guy is now backing all of that up. The National Institutes of Health and the Food and Drug Administration are also a part of that. And they fight epidemics. They kind of make sure that your food is safe, that your drugs are safe, things like that. No, but not important shit. But one thing that did happen, though, was the American Medical Association, which is it's a private organization that is real doctors, that is real medical people, have stepped up. They have been a clearinghouse for reporting around the world as well. And the AMA said, Donald Trump, fuck you. You don't control us. And they don't. And because of that, they are doing the reporting. I would suggest all of you, there is a YouTube page. I've got the link on my homepage. I will try to put it later on in the description here. They are doing the reporting that the CDC has now been ordered not to do. But gee, how fucking smart was that? There's been other things going on. And as far as how smart is that, How smart is MAGA? How smart are the Trumpers? Because they believe this shit. One of the things that's come out. Now, if you remember, before the election, when we had this burgeoning stock market, things were just going, total bull market. It was really hot. Things jumped from not an all-time low, but a low during the pandemic to record highs for a good long while. And that trajectory was straight up. Well, before the election, Donald Trump took credit for all of that. Oh, that was my doing because all of those investors are sure that I'm going to get elected again. That's why it's on the rise. We got some news yesterday, I think. The news was that the inflation rate is now back over 3%. It had gone down to a low of 2.4, and it is now, as of a day or so ago, at 3%. That orange asshole has told his people, and I'm afraid they're sucking it up with a straw, that, that's Joe Biden's doing. Well, if the stock market was your doing just because you were going to get elected, and then you are elected, and all of a sudden inflation starts going up again, that's on your watch, asshole. And honestly, MAGA, are you really that fucking stupid? Are you really that dumb to believe that, yes, the things that we have been telling you will happen are happening, but he's going to tell you, that's Joe Biden. It's on your watch now, asshole. The real truth of all of that, America, you done went and fucked up. Boy, did you go and fuck up. Now, let's get back to our little bit of Muskrat love. For anybody that's out there that believes in the genius of Elon Musk, first of all, rich, and by the way, for a while, and again, I'm begging you, look this up. He was here on an H-1B visa. And it was no longer applicable, but he stayed in the country. That makes him an illegal alien. He is not a native to this country. South African. By the way, South Africa has now shut down trade to the United States. But this genius of yours, whose daddy had a bunch of fucking mines and shit like that, and so he was rich, just like Trump's daddy was rich, he did turn it into a lot more money. But this guy, this genius, he's gonna save us. You might consider the reporting coming out of the State Department and their spending forecasts. In December, they were talking about, the State Department was talking about purchasing for the United States of America $400 million worth of fortified Tesla trucks. You know, the ones that keep burning up and shit like that. Yeah, they were going to buy 400 million, spend 400 million of our money on that. Conflict of interest much? We've got this guy in there saying that this is what we're going to do with the nation's money. And a part of what we're going to do with the nation's money is $400 million to your company. There's no conflict there. How the fuck is this not illegal? And Trump allowing it, how the hell is he not being impeached already? Somebody out there must have articles of impeachment lined up, and I hope they got some good ones because he needs to go. But they were going to do that. Now, all of a sudden, the State Department, no longer under any kind of reasonable control, has stripped the websites of any mention of Tesla. And the whole plan to buy these things, yeah, that one's been scrapped. Because the reporting came out. Because we're seeing it. It's now at the light of day. And that's what we're going to see over and over again. My question to everybody out there that encourages this sick bromance, don't you see the conflicts? Really? You don't see how that's a conflict? By the way, the guy gets $8 million a day from the United States government. Look that up too. $8 million a day. No conflict there. Don't worry about it. You know what, folks? I'm going to worry about it. I want to see them both in jail. Frankly, I'd like to see them tried for treason because that's what I think they're doing. And I would like to see the full punishment for that crime for both of them. But, you know, I'm not really sure where we're going to see this and how we're going to see it. I do know it's going to come. One thing that I am sure of, and I'm also sure that I am not going to outlive the damage that these two assholes are already doing within the first couple of months. I'm not going to outlive this. I'm not going to be there to see it. But I do have an image in my brain, in my heart, that I am sure of. It makes me think of the likes of Benito Mussolini, Saddam Hussein, King Louis XVI, Marie Antoinette, the Romanovs. We all know how that turned out. I hope it turns out the exact same goddamn way for the Trumps. If you don't know that history, look it up. Finally, a thing I want to talk about, and this still gets back to our little bromance, our Muskrat love. What we've just seen the Republicans do in the House is to push through a budget that includes a $4 trillion, with a T, $4 trillion increase to the national debt limit. With it, increasing the national debt limit by $4 trillion, they want a $4.5 trillion cut for rich people, corporations, and they want to do it, and they're already talking about cuts to Social Security, Medicare, and other things. Yeah, they really came in worrying about the working class. A question I would ask to the low intellect people that elected him. Why did you elect him? It was all about the economy, right? It was all about lowering egg prices. It was all about making sure that Americans were taken care of, that our prices weren't so goddamn high for all of this. What has he done? What has he done since he's been there to actually lower not rich people's cost of living? What has he done to lower your cost of living? Egg prices are up. Gas prices are up. Other grocery prices are up. All of these things, that was the important thing that you were voting for. They're all going up. Meanwhile, you sit there and listen to him talking about what a great job Muskrat's doing and how it's all Joe Biden's fault. Joe Biden is no longer the fucking president. You are, you orange piece of shit. Maybe you are, because also, maybe your South African buddy is really the president. Another one to look up, Muskrat's kid in the Oval Office actually says, "Shut up, you're not the president." Because daddy's told him who's really the president. That's the truth of it. All right, America, that's what I've got for you. There are 2 links that are associated with my videos now. One of them is an Amazon wish list, of which one thing, thank you very much to one of our blue dots, was taken off. That is heading my way. And I mentioned that we ended up having a very tight month for helping other people. I'm still not going to go into the details of all of that, but suffice to say that a person that I have worked really hard over the course of the last year and plus to try to help out brought some people into his life that ended up with the law having to be called over the course of the weekend, and they now have pretty much a don't come on the property or you will be arrested order. But that left me short for the month, almost exactly how much I put into their household over the course of the last month that they were going to pay me back. That didn't happen. So the other link is a PayPal link. I also got a generous contribution from another blue dot on there, but I am still going to be short for the month, and that's just how it is in the new world of Trump and Muskrat. If you can help out, I'd like you to do that. Remember that all of this costs, especially now that I am probably putting a target on myself. So if you can help, I would sure appreciate that. And let's keep this thing going.